Good morning, everyone. Happy Victober. Welcome to the first Victober reading vlog I have for you this month. So we've got reading sprints over on Katie's channel right now that I am getting ready for. So we are going to make a cup of tea and then get set up and get ready for some Victober reading. Yay! It's the most wonderful time of the year, guys. I'm so excited. Hi, I'm Elizabeth from A Literary Princess. Happy Victober. Hello again. It is now hours later. So my camera died after the reading sprints this morning and it's been charging basically all day. So hopefully I have, I don't know, a few shots of like the cats doing something stupid, but so it is now almost 6 o'clock in the evening on October 1st, and I wanted to just give a little update about how my first day of Victober reading went. So during those sprints, I read the first 2 chapters of our group read Hester, and I'm loving this so much. It's so good. It's a reread for me, and I'm loving it. I didn't want to stop. I'm like trying to stick to the schedule of the 2 chapters a day, but I was like, I want to keep going. So I then picked up Mistress and Maid, which I have here on my Kindle. And I am now, how far am I in here? I read only like half of a chapter during the reading sprints, but I did some reading this afternoon too. So I am 16% in because we don't have page numbers here. We have percentages on this Kindle ebook. This is so good so far. I could not have picked a better book for Hannah's challenge, which is to read a book about education. So this is following 3 sisters, Miss Joanna, Selena, and Hilary Leaf. They are in genteel poverty and they run a school for the local children. They need a maid. They hire a teenage girl from the area who comes in, and they're slowly befriending her, but they're also teaching her. There's this big focus on she doesn't know how to do a lot of stuff. Like she doesn't know how to sew a dress. She doesn't know how to write. She does know how to read. I thought they taught her to read. No, they teach her to write, not read. That's different. And she had been to the national school a few years, like for a little while as a younger child, but she's forgotten most of what she learned there. So it's this really interesting commentary on Victorian education because at this time, there was like a push for public education, but it wasn't always the best and it didn't always stick because the kids didn't always go consistently and they might only get a year or 2 of education. So it's this really interesting commentary on that and really interesting commentary about how you can't expect people to know what they don't know and to like do something perfectly if they've never had to do it before, and how they need to be taught. So this is just like the perfect pick for Hannah's challenge, and I'm enjoying it so much. I can't wait to read more of it tonight. So yeah, that's just my little update on the first day of Victober. I will obviously be coming back to you the rest of the week or week and a half. I'm figuring I'm gonna do these like end them on the Friday, but not this Friday since it's starting in the middle of the week. So I'm probably gonna end this on, sorry, I'm looking away from you. I am looking at the calendar. So end this one on like August, October 10th, and then go like for Fridays. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I will have more for you soon, and hopefully some cute images of my cats because I don't know what else you're going to be seeing during this reading vlog. I'm rambling. That's fine. It's a reading vlog. I can ramble, right? You're going to be seeing so much more of my apartment than you usually do. Like, you guys get to see my bookshelf space when I've cleaned it up for filming. Like, I move so much crap off of the bookshelves so that you're not seeing it. Usually you're going to get to see, not everything, there's plenty of stuff I'm not going to show you. But like, you're going to get to notice, oh wow, that's what the bookshelves actually look like. Or, wow, you guys are a mess. Because I am a mess. I mean, look at my kitchen. It's a small space. I love it, but it's a small space. But yes, I'm rambling now. I don't vlog very often, can you tell? So yeah, I will be back after I've read a bit more, maybe in another day or two. I don't know how often I'm gonna update this. We'll see where it goes. All right, so it is now Friday morning, and I finished my first Victober read last night, Mistress and Maid by Dinah Mullet-Craik. I loved it. I was not expecting to love it. Like, I was expecting to have a good time, like to enjoy it, you know. But wow, oh my God, I love these characters so much. Oh my goodness. It was just great. It counted for like a ridiculous amount of challenges. So I found my first mention of the Empire. One of the characters goes off to India to make his fortune and is starting as the tutor to the son of a guy who runs a company. He's teaching him Hindustani, and then he ends up making his way up in the company. We have, obviously it's by an underrated woman writer. It's about education. The first half is really preoccupied with these three sisters, Joanna, Selena, and Hilary Leaf, teaching their new maid Elizabeth kind of what is expected and what she needs to be doing. And then friendship, because particularly Hilary and Elizabeth become very good friends, even though they are mistress and maid, as the title says. There is somebody that goes through, there's more than one person that goes through a change in class status. What is that, 5 challenges? So yeah, so I've ticked off a huge amount of challenges. I'm gonna put my scorecard up here. Now for the scorecard, for now, I'm only ticking off 1 box per book. So I've used this for Hannah's challenge, to read something with education. As we get more toward the end of the month, if I haven't met some other ones, I'll start, doubling. But I figured, I don't know, it would be fun to make it harder for myself. So, yes, so good. I gave it 5 stars. I'm going to be doing a review in a few weeks. So you can look out for that. That will have more about Mistress and Maid. So I am still only 2 chapters into Hester. I neglected my 2 chapters yesterday in favor of reading Mistress and Maid because it was so good. But that's all right. I will catch up rather quickly, I do think. So I'm going away this weekend to visit some of my undergrad friends. We are going to be going to Old Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts, which is, it's a museum of an early 19th century village and town. So it's like kind of Victober-y. It's not, because obviously A, it's American, and B, it's early 19th century instead of, more toward the middle, but that's fine. It's like, it's gonna be fun, and I hopefully we'll get some footage. And I'm gonna have a great time with my friends. I love seeing them. I don't get to see them very often. So this is just gonna be really fun. And of course, I will be bringing along some books. So I'm going to bring Hester, obviously. And then I'm going to bring my Kindle, on which I have the choices of, well, I have many choices, but for Victober, I can pick up the Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle, or I can pick up The Light Princess by George MacDonald. I've got both of those on Kindle. Do I have any others on Kindle that I had on my TBR? I don't think so, but I mean, I also have like the complete works of Mary Elizabeth Braddon and Margaret Oliphant and Ouida and Anne Thackeray Ritchie and a bunch of other people. Like I have plenty of Victorian literature on that Kindle if I decide that I need to pick up something else instead. But probably either The Light Princess or the Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. I debated listening to the Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes on audiobook because I do have access to it through Spotify Premium, and I have a 2-hour drive ahead of me. However, Taylor Swift's new album came out last night, and I think I'm gonna be spending my drive listening to that. Did you know that I was a Taylor Swift fan? You probably didn't, but yes, I do. I enjoy her music, so probably gonna be taking a little bit of a break from the Victober festivities to listen to that. So, I will see you soon with another update. Hi everyone, it is now Tuesday, October 6th, and we are back in our regular filming spot because I am doing some more regular videos. And I'm being a terrible vlogger and not updating you on things, but hey, I'm trying. So I'm obviously back from my weekend away. I had a wonderful time. It was great to see my friends. We had such a fun time walking around Old Sturbridge Village on Saturday, which you will have seen some footage of. And naturally, I bought a book because of course I did. It is not Victorian because it's American, but it is the right time period. This is a beautifully illustrated edition of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, illustrated by Chloe Bristol. And it's stunning. I needed it. I needed it. So Old Sturbridge Village had like all their Halloween stuff out. And so this was part of that. And it's just so good. I needed it. I was good. Like, yeah, I bought one book, but I was good. I have found 4 books that I wanted, and I found 5 books that I wanted, and I only bought one of them. So I think that's really good, personally. So yeah. Reading-wise, I read nothing over the weekend. Like, I think I read maybe a total of 2 pages. And that's about it. I was just having too much fun with my friends. I did read a little bit more in Hester when I got home. I am now up to chapter 7. I'm actually partway through chapter 7. So I am very behind on the reading schedule, but I'm hoping to catch up rather quickly. Like today, preferably. We'll see what happens. I need to edit another video tonight to go up on Thursday because I'm not going to be home on Wednesday. I'm going to have no reading time on Wednesday either. God, life is so hard. People want to like see me. But yeah, I'm loving Hester. I'm so happy to see that a lot of people over on Discord are really loving it too because it's just such a good book. I'm so happy. All right, I will see you in a little while for another update. Hello again. It is now Thursday the 8th, and I am finally caught up with Hester. Yay! I'm still enjoying it so much. And at the part I'm at now, I don't really remember this part, which is great because, you know, rereading it, it's always kind of fun when you're like, I have no memory of this place. Let's see where it goes. I'm like, let's see. Margaret Oliphant, where are you taking me? I have also started The Light Princess by George MacDonald, which I am reading for Roy's Challenge. This is a fairy tale. It is very short. I am halfway through it. I probably could have finished it yesterday, but I took a nap instead. I was at my parents' house yesterday. We had dinner with them and my brother. And while I was there, I started The Light Princess and then took a nap, and then decided that I wanted to grab a few of my Victorian children's books that are still hanging around over there. So I've got Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. I was given this for my birthday, my 7th birthday, by my Aunt Pat, who gave me a lot of my early Victorian literature. I know I read this as a kid, but I don't really remember it that well, so this is probably due for a reread sometime soon. And then I also have Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson in this beautiful illustrated edition that is unfortunately falling apart a bit. Because this belonged to my uncle when he was a child, and you can see on the, it's got my book and then Lindsay, which is my uncle's name. He wrote it in his little kid handwriting, which is super cute. I've actually never read this. I guess it was just on my bookshelf. I don't know how my mom ended up with it though, if it was my uncle's, but whatever. Maybe it was at our lake house and I took it home with me when they were clearing out some stuff. I don't know. But it's a really interesting edition. Like, the illustrations are so cool, even though it's falling apart a little bit. I've never read it though. And so, you know, it's probably time sometime soon to give this a read, because it's kind of like a quintessential Victorian children's classic. I also had some Victober book mail. Penny, who is a commenter and subscriber, was kind enough to send me The Heir of Redcliffe in this World's Classics edition after I talked about in my video on Victorian literature I've read in the past year, after I talked about how much I wanted a physical copy. It was so kind of her. Thank you so much, Penny. I really cannot wait to reread this from this edition. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. So incredibly kind. So I think today I have a bunch of like real world stuff I have to do. Blah, real world stuff. I have to go grocery shopping. But after all that and getting maybe some work on some job applications done, I will read my 2 chapters of Hester and then finish off The Light Princess. And then I'm like, what do I want to pick up after The Light Princess? I'm not sure. So I guess we will see. Hello, it is now October 10th, and I am going to give you the final update of this vlog, I think. I've got my tea with me. And yeah, it's just a quiet day here. I haven't done any reading today, but I did quite a bit of reading yesterday and figured I would update you and then wrap this up. Although first, I had more book mail. Unfortunately, not Victober book mail, just regular book mail. So I won another Goodreads giveaway. I entered these for years and like never win anything. And then suddenly twice this year I've won. But okay, sure. So I've got here A Suit or a Suitcase by Maggie Smith. Not that Maggie Smith. Which is coming out on March 31st of 2026. So I'm excited to check this out. I have not read any of Maggie Smith's work before, although apparently she does have other collections, and they are in the front here. But yeah. I finished The Light Princess yesterday by George MacDonald, so I thought that was like the sweetest thing. Oh my goodness. I gave it 4.5 stars. So it's about this princess, and she is cursed at birth to have no gravity. Meaning like, yeah, physical gravity of keeping you on the ground, but also like emotional gravity. Like she's not able to take anything seriously. She just laughs whenever anybody tells her anything. And it was just a really interesting little fairy tale with a prince coming in, and she is more like regular people when she's in the water. And honestly, it was just beautiful. Like the last little, I don't know, third of it was like really, really like touching. I don't know. It just really, I really enjoyed it. And I want an illustrated edition of it badly, because I had obviously my Kindle copy, and it was just like a free one you get on Amazon. So I think, because I would love to read this to my future hypothetical children. So I want an illustrated copy of it at some point. But yeah, no, it was really quite lovely. 4.5 stars. I then started the Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. I read the first 4 or 5 short stories. I have it here on my Kindle. I'm actually going to look that up because I would like to know which ones I read. Because I don't remember. I don't remember things. Why would I? Okay, so I read the first 5 short stories, which were Silver Blaze, The Yellow Face, The Stockbroker's Clerk, The Gloria Scott, and The Musgrave Ritual. Is that? Yes, that is 5. I can count. Do you want to say hi? Oh, yes. Hi. Say hi. He's so sweet. You don't get to get upset though. You came over here. Anyway, so I'm really enjoying these. And oh my God, Signs of Empire all over the place. Like I highlighted some just so that I would have them handy. But we've got, what do we have? We've got mentions of goldfields in New Zealand. We've got mentions of the Crimean War. We've got mentions of the Chinese tea trade. We've got people coming back to England as rich colonials. We have mention, of course, of Watson being in Afghanistan. Mentions of tobacco and like all this stuff. It's just like empire everywhere. Everywhere. So, quite a lot of empire spotting to do in that collection. I'm really enjoying them so far. I had only read 2 of these before. I read The Musgrave Ritual for a class in my PhD, and there's a video on that class, my Victorian Gothic class. And then I read Silver Blaze when I first got this collection, actually, and was just reading through some that sounded, I was like, ooh, that's an interesting title. So there we go. So the ones I have left are the Reigate problem. Reigaate? Okay. The Crooked Man, which I have read. The Resident Patient. The Greek Interpreter. The Naval Treaty. Did I read that one? It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure if I read it or not. And then, of course, The Final Problem is the last one, and I have read The Final Problem before. I guess if you haven't, though, I won't say anything. So, that is going very well. I'll probably finish that tonight. Although I have to finish editing up this vlog, but I might be able to do that during the day. Or not, because the cat is awake and clearly wants to have attention, and usually at this time of day he wants to snuggle on the couch, which means maybe I can read right now and then edit my vlog in the evening. This is probably very uninteresting to you. I am also up to, well, not quite up to date because I haven't read today's chapters, but I have been reading Hester. I am up to chapter 19, and we'll read that and chapter 20 today while I am snuggling on the couch with this cat. We have had the introduction of a new character, Roland, who seems like he might be changing the dynamic here a little bit. I don't really remember him very well. Like, I remember Hester herself very well, Catherine, obviously, and I remember Edward very well. And I remembered, like, the existence of Harry, like, in his general personhood. But, and then, of course, I remembered Mrs. John, because Hester's mother, because she's pretty memorable, too. But Roland, I'm like, okay, what do you do here? I have no memory of this place. I don't know you. So I'm like, what happens next? I don't know. Even though I've read it before. I guess I'll find out. I'm enjoying this so much. The last time I read it, I had to read it in 4 days for an independent study. And it was on my Kindle, so I didn't have any notes. There was no introduction, which I didn't read the introduction here yet. I'm gonna do it after, because I was like, if I don't remember things, I don't want to be spoiled for them. But I am excited to read the introduction and see what whoever wrote it has to say. Who wrote this one? Edited and with an introduction and notes by Philip Davis and Brian Nellist. I don't know either of them. Which might sound odd, it probably sounds really odd to say, like, why would I know, like, the random scholars that Oxford gets to write their introductions, but a lot of times with works by authors that I study, they get scholars who publish a lot about that author, so I know a lot of meaning I have read works by a lot of Oliphant scholars, and these are not two who are familiar to me. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see what they have to say. But not until I finish it. Which, getting toward the halfway mark. After today, if I do in fact do my reading, I will be on page 191. And the total page count, not including the endnotes, is 456. So almost to the halfway point. And I'm just loving it. It's so good. So that is all for this vlog. It has been great taking you along with me for the first week and a half of Victober. And I will see you for the next one. Bye.